All right, today we're going to do just a basic overall inspection under the hood so you know how to check the oil, add the oil, and different fluid levels that you would be able to recognize and check. To start with, we were going to check the engine oil. This would be the engine dipstick. We'd pull it out and it has an add and fill mark on it, which this one is exactly on full. So this is where you want to check your engine oil level. You want to do this according to the owner's manual. This is a daily process of checking and maintaining your vehicle. So at least once a week you want to be able to check the oil in case you have some leaks or anything you're not aware of. If you need to add oil, this is the oil cap where you would add the engine oil. We'd also want to check the coolant level. This is what we call the coolant recovery tank, and it has a full mark and it has an add mark on it. So our level is good, it's at the full mark. If we needed to add any coolant, we just pop this top open and be able to add the coolant in here into the system. And you do have to add the proper coolant. You can't mix levels, so it does have to be what the manufacturer recommends. If we wanted to check our washer fluid, this is a washer fluid bottle. If we needed washer fluid, we'd open this top, pour the liquid in. It's just a see-through bottle. It doesn't really have a full mark, but you would fill it up to about an inch or two below the neck. So that's where you would fill the washer fluid. If you're going to check the transmission fluid, this is the transmission dipstick here. But according to manufacturers, the car has to be running and the car has to be up to operating temperature to be able to correctly check the transmission fluid. Some require the vehicle to be in park, some require it to be in neutral. So you have to follow the manufacturer specification, but this is the transmission dipstick where you would check that if the car was running and up to operating temperature. Here are battery terminals, positive and negative. You want to check those for corrosion. Make sure that they're tight, no problems with those, they look good and clean. If we want to check the brake fluid level, it's up under here, the reservoir. It also has an add and fill line on the side of it, and we see it's at the proper level. So these are some of your basic fluids. This car doesn't have power, it has electric power steering, so there's no reservoir, no fluid to check for the power steering because it's actually all electric on this particular car. But if you did have a car with regular hydraulic power steering, there would be a reservoir labeled power steering fluid, and it also would have a low and normal fill mark on it. You want to check your air filter. You pop the clips off the air filter, be able to check and inspect it to see if it's in good shape. Of course, we see this one's nice and clean. So these are just some of the basic maintenance checks that you can do while looking over your vehicle. Of course, you always want to take a scan from front to back, see if you see any fluids leaking, any type of, look for engine oil, coolant, anything that you see might be leaking on the vehicle. Check your belt condition, make sure it's not cracked, and make sure it's tight. So all these things are just some simple maintenance checks you can do to keep your vehicle up and running on the road.